Alessandro Calaresi, Gianfranco Di Giovanno, Antonio De Giaccaro, Silvia Francesco, and Freddie Parker. So welcome to you if you are just joining our coverage for qualifying. We're RC Racing TV, bringing you a live coverage of this EFRA 112th European Championships for 2024 in conjunction with our event sponsors, ToniSport, Schumacher, Lens Bodies, Zen Racing, RCXX Shop, Montec and Hobbywing. Cars now circulating for the first round of qualifying. Will be really on the clock for 8 minutes for the first time. So could be a good opportunity to see how everything gets a little bit more mixed up. Story of the day so far has been trying to look after rear tyres off the end of the main straight. It's a little bit bumpy. Let's see if we can pick up the lead car at the moment, which is the 3 car of Gianluca Lino. It's the 5 car come past. Believe the 3 car may be the white and red coloured car on the main straight now. Certainly looks like he's lapping quicker than anybody else. No, that's the 1 car actually. Could be that drivers maybe haven't got the right numbers on yet. There's some cars circulating out there without numbers on, making things a little bit harder. I believe the car we're looking for is the all-white coloured car just coming out onto the main straight now. There we go. Got him. This our lead car. Let's have a look. A little bit safe. This is the area of the track where people have been struggling a little bit. You can see car looks pretty decent over the ripples. We've got 2 minutes into the run, so 6 minutes remaining. Let's have a look as he comes up. He passes car of Freddie Parker, parked in the barrier. Got a nice gap in front of him, exactly what you want to see in qualifying. Nice huge gap that you can drive into. Remember, now qualifying has started. They're running on the clock. They're not actually racing one another. Rear of the car starting to look a little bit wayward on power. It's fairly early in the run for it to be doing that, but we'll see exactly how well that hangs on to it further on in the run. See who else is moving quickly. Alessandro Calaresi, the number 4 car. Let's see if we can spot him out there. Got a feeling he may be the orange and yellow coloured car, just about to hit the main straight now. Certainly lapping quickly. So we'll stick with him for a little bit. About to have the leader close in on him of Gianluca Lino. Gets out of the way nicely, lets him through. And Freddie Parker's made some good progress. He's up into 4th place with the number 2 car. Freddie is the white front, yellow rear car. Let's see if we can spot him. He's just about to head out on to the main straight now. Here we go. Let's run with Freddie for a little bit. Bit much curb there, Fred. Going nicely. First international meeting for Freddie. Doing a good job. Younger brother of Lewis Parker, who's appearing in both stock and modified classes. One of the quicker drivers, looking to, ended up on the podium in stock last year. We'll be looking to repeat that performance if he can. Freddie, meanwhile, doing a really good job, actually. I mean, let the leader through. Just sitting there on the back of him. Nicely tagged on. We've got 2 minutes 45 left. So still running with Freddie. As we were saying, his brother Lewis on the podium last year, seeded 4th for this weekend. Ollie Payne is the top seed for stock. Simon Lauter in 2nd position. Finley Whitelock, great run from him in 3rd. Lewis 4th. Jan Rafalski will be 5th. Morgan Williams will be 6th. Christian Donath 7th. Mark Stiles 8th. Max Mackler 9th. So that'll be your top heat. Bit of a reversal from the world's positions going on at the tail end. Just under 2 minutes of this heat left. So good run coming together from Freddie. He's got himself sat up in 4th position in the heat currently. He's got the lead car following him around. And he's looking pretty comfortable, to be honest. Just a nice run coming together from him. In fact, he's starting to stretch away from the lead car. Not by much, but it's all he needs. Car looks good, car looks stable, car looks planted. A little bit deep in off the end of the straight there, but pretty good, pretty well balanced, pretty well sorted. So timing complete. At the end of heat number 1. Five heats in total in this spec class. 13.5 Blinky. It's a good opening run. Just starting to see a few more people heading up on the driver's rostrum now. Bit more experience. Some more experienced drivers in this heat, I think, is probably the kindest expression. I can see the car of Mark Payne out there. I can see Andy Thompson up there on the rostrum. See, Michael Laws has managed to seed himself out of the bottom heat. So 1 minute until the start of this run. So again, welcome to you if you are just joining us here on RC Racing TV. We're bringing you a live coverage of the EFRA 1/12th European Championship. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Facebook. You can also see, if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see coverage of the H2GP coming over the course of the weekend. That's hydrogen-powered RC.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So Alex D'Angelo leads off. Car looks a little bit edgy on lap 1, going into that first corner. Let's just ride with him. See, a little bit struggling to slow the car down and get it turned in. Looks quite square at the moment, doesn't look very smooth. Still going nicely out in the front of the field. Alex D'Angelo. Looks like we've got Michael Laws up in second place. So Michael is the Golf liveried car, the sky blue and orange coloured car. Let's see if we can pick him up. He's one car back. There we go. This is our second place man, Michael Laws. Running quite nicely around the outside of car 2. That's not exactly the place you'd want to be catching and passing someone. It's car 3 pops some nice wheelies. We've got a failing spur gear on someone's car out there. Michael, having made his way through that carnage, running quite nicely in, well, it's third position now. We've got Tim Pansters up into second place.
One of our Belgian racers.
He is, yes. Is he Belgian or is he Dutch? It was the Dutch anthem, I'm sure. Tim. The Dutch.
You know, it's I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, I think the yeah,
kind of my mantra. But no, I just remember his name.
Yes. Tim Pansters, and yes, basically Holland is Team Tim this,
yes,
this weekend.
It, yeah.
Going quite well is Tim. Let's see if we can spot him. Car number 6.
So David Ongaro commenting on Facebook. Hello, David. Hello once again. Thank you for joining us. The three-time world champion, David Ongaro.
Indeed. We've got the car 6. It's the minty green coloured car with the very distinctive yellow wheels on. Just closing in on the back of Michael Laws. So started out 2 seconds behind him, sorry. Now in front of him on the track, so at least 2 seconds in front on the split. In fact, this is now the lead car. So Alex D'Angelo has dropped down the field. The car that we're following is the lead car at the moment, and second place is the one behind him. It's not really a battle for position because they started out a couple of seconds apart. You can see car looking a little bit loose off the end of the main straight, and very, very loose off the end of the main straight. This is the bit of a theme that we're probably going to see over the course of the weekend from a lot of drivers. There's being quick at the start, but that's what's got them here and that's what seeded them here. But it's just trying to hang on to the rear of the car. And once the car's done that once, and you're scared of it then, you're terrified of just cranking the car in and turning the car in. Because you just think that it's going to swap ends and bite you. So really difficult to hang on to and keep your concentration. Mark Payne's got himself up into third place with the 9 car. That's he's a green and white car out there. There's a couple of them, but he is the one he's circulating by himself. He's the second of the 2 green and white cars on the main straight now. So Mark now starting to back it in off the end of the main straight. A lot of experience in Mark's thumbs. He's hanging on to that quite nicely, making his way through some traffic. Car just looks quite benign. Moving out of the way, let some traffic through. That's good, sensible driving. Just focus on getting your time. Of course, you're not only racing the people in the heat that you're in, you're also on the clock against everybody else in the round. It's round by round qualifying, so finishing the round is the name of the game. It doesn't necessarily matter how fast you are. I wouldn't expect this to be a particularly fast round in terms of a tie break. I would expect that we'll see some quicker times in qualifying probably tomorrow morning when the track is, or has had a chance to cool off slightly. Times don't matter too much unless we get to a situation with a tie break. But can be quite useful. It's always good to have a fast time in your pocket. What do we got? Just under 2 minutes left. Mark Payne still going quite nicely. Tim Panster's still leading this one. We've run with him. Michael Law's running in second. We've run with him. A bit of a kerfuffle. Mark Payne's dropped down to 5th place. Tom Adams and Alex Seiter. No, there we go. Mark pops back up again. Just seeing, very unfortunate there for Mark. And has a bit of a coming together with Andy Thompson. That's they're sharing accommodation, so it could be slightly awkward later. That'll be a quiet car journey back to the villa, I guess. Won't be asking him to pass the salt.
Maybe ask him to buy a beer.
Yeah, maybe. That's yeah, that's never really what you want to do, but kind of inevitable. Always happens that you'll probably fire off someone who's sat at the pit table next to you. So what do we got? Last 10 seconds. So let's run for home with Mark. In fact, some cars finishing slightly earlier. Eric Anderson joining us. Hello, Eric. Saying wow. Not sure exactly what the wow's for.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that the last couple of comments were about something that happened on track. Unfortunately, they're not time stamped, so
quite possibly
don't really know what
so
what the people are responding to sometimes.
Yes, if Eric's watching that, then yeah, that coming together between Mark and Andy, that's a bit of Team FP on Team FP.
Yeah, unfortunately for Alex D'Angelo, David, I was saying hi to earlier. David was posting "Go Alex D'Angelo" and didn't really finish where he was running for quite a bit of that race.
1 minute to start. Start order D1.
Heat number 3 of 5 going out. So Jan Dietmar, Werner Spanbrucker. Werner was actually seeded in Heat 1. So he's done well to move himself up. Lucas Larson, Jody Sherritt, Lucas Niderer, Dan Bancroft, Nigel Bowen, Ole Thomas Bryn, and Christian Gier.
Werner told me that in the Austrian Championships for 12th, he's usually in the top 5, but he didn't run at last year's Euros in the UK, and for whatever reason, he was stuck in the bottom heat for the practice rounds. But he's moved up.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this is where he'd probably expect to be. You wouldn't necessarily want to seed yourself up into a higher heat. You don't want to overseed yourself. That's always a bit of a recipe for disaster about being in a heat a little bit too high. So cars getting called out and started.
And there's our running, well, the numbers of the cars that we're looking at.
Yep.
You see the spread of nationalities there.
So the car's just being called to stop on the straight, so they're ready to start.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Quite an interesting tactic, this, people starting further and further back down the straight. I mean, it's the timing loop is, well, it's that loop there, that line there that we've just crossed. So when people sort of come through that chicane, they're crossing it at pretty much racing speed from lap 1, which is why the predicted time that you see for a driver always starts out quite quick and then ends up slowing off. Their first lap will be at sort of full racing speed. If you're having to accelerate away from the line, then you're always going to struggle a little bit. It's the 2 car of Werner Spanbrucker. Looks like he's made a pretty good launch from the beginning. Let's just see if we can pick him up.
He's in the white and yellow car, I believe.
Yep, that's the got
yellow
him.
and white.
Yellow and white. So we've got him on stream, and again, just falls nicely for him. Some of the traffic in front of him falls out of the way. Werner's car looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty decent. Turns in nicely. Corners very flat. It's carrying a decent amount of corner speed. A little bit of push on corner exit, maybe, but you can live with that. You can cope with that. That looks very drivable. I'd be pretty happy to be driving that car around myself, to be honest. That looks nice. Looks calm, balanced, pretty stable. Who's running in second place? Lucas Larson with the 3 car. Let's see if we can spot him. Lucas is he's the all blue coloured car. So having got him on screen, Ben doing a much better job of picking the cars out than I'm able to. From a slightly elevated position up there. Looking nice, looking smooth. Down into 4th place now in the heat. So it'll have had a bit of a shock that a couple of the guys that started behind him are in front of him on the split. And just moving forwards. Again, people starting to get a bit of a handle on their cars off the end of the main straight. Getting the cars to ride those bumps a little bit better. Favoured line seems to be geometrically, I think the best line is just crank it in at the end of the straight, but the bumps aren't necessarily allowing that. I think staying wider at the end of the straight and turning in from a shallower angle gives you a bit of a better exit and drive through the chicane that immediately follows it. So the car's not having to turn quite so hard on the bump, or on the bumps. Just helping to preserve the rear tyres slightly. Early retirement for Jody Sherratt by the looks of things. Let's see if we can find the third place car of Lucas Niderer, the number 5 car. Trying to pick him up out there. Might be the white and blue car. I think it is. Yep. So currently floating around. He's down in 4th position currently. But we'll run with him for a few laps. Werner Spanbrucker flying away at the front of this one. Predicting a time, a 41 lap run in sort of 80, it'll be 801.7, something like that. In fact, Christian Gaia now is looking like he's on for a 42, so Christian's found some good pace. I think Christian's car is, let's see if we can find it. His is the white front, yellow centre, Smurf blue rear off the end of the main straight. Christian finding some good pace later on in the race. Order being pretty changeable, but starting to find his way through. I think a lot of these guys will be, if they can get themselves a top 20 in round, they'll be pretty happy with that. Gives you a fairly good chance of getting yourself into a B final. And I think all of the drivers would be happy with that if they can. Any of the guys in this heat, if any of these guys can make a B final, they'd be pretty happy with how that would go. Christian dropping off a little bit now. Got 1.5 minutes left. Let's just see how he manages off the end of the straight. Going out looking like it's starting to dive in, scrub a little bit of speed. Not flowing quite as smoothly as it once was. What motor is spec? One of the questions come in. This is it's 13.5. Doesn't look as quick as some classes that run 13.5 because these are 1S batteries. So 3.7 volts nominal rather than 7.4 nominal. That's why you're seeing this slightly lower performance from a 13.5 motor than you might expect to see. Chris Gaia still in front. Started some way off Werner Spanbrucker. Started 7 seconds off him. So it's taken a little while to update and everything to play itself out. See, so Christian Guy does take that right at the end from Werner Spanbrucker. So penultimate heat of spec. About to go out on track. Some recognisable names here. Stefan Schultz, Mark Jordan, Stuart Cartwright, Andreas Bryn, Michael Bolt, Stefan Huys, Niels de Gruyser, Marcus Andreasen and Alexander Andersen. Cars being released out onto circuit. So a few guys in this that would probably think that they in with a shout of an A final. So there we go. That's running order for this heat. Stefan Schultz going to lead away with his sort of white and blue coloured car. So cars forming up on the start. We'll run with Stefan Schultz from the start. It's the white and blue car that will be off first. So Stefan nails it and watches it get quite squirrely off the line. So he's going to try and pull away from Mark Jordan. Stefan, very experienced driver, already nearly on traffic. So Stefan trying to hunt down Alexander Andersen. In fact, Alex Andersen has had a pretty decent opening lap himself. He's up to third overall. Gets it very, I think, Stefan Schultz's life flashed before his eyes then, as Alex Andersen got the car all kind of crossed up in front of him. Who else are we expecting to make progress in this one? The 8 car is pretty rapid. Let's see if we can spot him. The 8 car is, I think, the orange coloured car with white on it. Yep, Ben's already picked him up. So he comes down the main straight. As you see, a little bit hesitant to turn in. It's okay, he can cope with that. Michael Bolt's got himself up into second position. Michael is the orange front, blue rear. Number 5 car, let's see if we can spot him as he enters the main straight now. So he finished 4th at the Worlds. He's going to be heading towards the car of, I believe that will be Stuart Cartwright that he's heading towards. Yes, it is. So Michael trying to close down Stu on the split. And backwards off the end of the straight for Michael there. Doesn't look particularly nice. Managed to keep it circulating, but that's probably the reason that Michael is down in this heat rather than being in the top heat. Just a few too many sort of slightly backwards and sideways moments. Again, car a little bit loose. Takes a slightly wider, more flowing line that time round. In fact, we've got the car of Andreas Bryn, one car back. Let's see if we can pick him up. He is now in front of Michael on the clock. So the red and white coloured car. So Stu, having made a little mistake, gets out of everybody's way. Drops him down the field. Question, are nickel metal hydride batteries competitive against lithium batteries? Does anyone use them? No, is the short answer. The internal resistance of the nickel metal hydride batteries is way too high. Voltage is kind of there, similar at the start of a run with a 4-cell pack, but it just drops like a stone as soon as you put it under any kind of load. So no, there wouldn't be any nickel metal hydride cells in use compared to the 1S LiPo packs. That's completely disregarding the weight disadvantage as well. Stefan Schultz still leading this one, relatively comfortably, predicting a 43.807. Marcus Andreasen predicting a 43.809, so only a couple of seconds in it. Let's see if we can pick up our leader. He's the white and blue coloured car, just on the main straight now. So I think Stefan will be quite happy with this. 1/12 scale, not the main class for Stefan, more known as a touring car and a fronty driver, but has competed a few Euros now. And 1/12 scale, sort of favoured second class for quite a lot of on-road drivers. Does wonders for your reactions. Two and a half minutes remaining of this run. Remember this, the penultimate heat of stock here at the EFRA 112 European Championships from Messina on the northeast coast of Sicily. We're currently running with the car of Stefan Schultz. And welcome to you if you are just joining us on Facebook or YouTube. We'd like to thank our event sponsors, ToniSport, Schumacher, Lens Bodies, Zen Racing, RCXX Shop, Montec and Hobbywing for helping us to bring you this coverage. If you want to know when we're on air, don't forget to like us on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube. Stefan Schultz still just edging away from everybody. He's now catching up to Michael Bolt, who is currently running in third position in the heat. So he'll know that that's a good place to be in. Put nearly a lap into people, nearly a lap into the rest of the heat. You'd think that that would be a good solid top 10. Top 10 in round. That's a lovely way to kick off the evening. So nice run having come together for Stefan. Michael Bolt's car, one in front of him. Michael running in third position, although he's closing in on the car of Marcus Andreasen. Marcus dropping off the pace slightly. See if Michael gets him at the end. Now Michael's got a little bit of a toe as well from Stefan. I think Marcus Andreasen should just about hang on to this one. So everybody just coming in. Stefan Schultz does take that one from Marcus Andreasen and Michael Bolt. A decent run there for Stefan. With 9 cars to go, so that guarantees him a top 10 in round, even if everybody in the top heat beats him, which is probably going to be unlikely. That's a 43 and 809. That's a pretty decent run. Best lap, I'm not sure he'd manage that again, and 11.111. That's all the ones. Top heat just being placed down on the circuit. Everybody finding their way around. Starting to see race paint coming out there. Mark Stiles getting serious. I can see his familiar race paint on the circuit. So who have we got? We've got Ollie Payne, Simon Lauter, Finlay Whitelock, Lewis Parker, Jan Rathajski, Morgan Williams, Christian Donath, Mark Stiles, Max Mackler. Our top heat. These guys will be, well, we believe they'll be doing battle. Stefan Schultz will be hoping that they don't. But Ollie Payne looking like he had a little bit in his pocket. So we'll see how he manages over 8 minutes. Let's run with him. Car number 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ollie Payne then leading away from Simon Lauter. Big gap already that Ollie has pulled. He'll be wanting to get on with this, get down the road, get a round win in the bag. Ollie won this title in 2018. He's doing everything he needs to at the moment. Finlay Whitelock in 2nd position. Off as the start. Max Mackler is popping up in 3rd. In fact, he's popped up into 2nd position. So Ollie closing in on the back of Mark Stiles. So Mark going to open up off the end of the main straight. Gets a little bit caught out over the bumps. Ollie Payne leading this one then from Finlay Whitelock. Let's see if we can find Finlay. He is the brighter of the 2 all orange coloured cars. They're just heading out towards the main straight now. So Simon Lauter starting in front of Finlay on the split. That's 1 car directly in front of him. Finlay applying some pressure to Simon as they come out onto the main straight. And Finlay could do with Simon opening up and giving him a bit of room. Pair of them catching Mark Stiles, who does open up. Ollie Payne currently predicting a 44-lap run, as is Finlay Whitelock, as is Simon Lauter, Jan Rathajski. So we're running with Finley Whitelock at the moment. He is just now starting to drop off the back of Simon Lauter. So let's move forward one orange car to Simon. Now running in second position. Let's see if he can start chasing down. In fact, last time round he was about a tenth quicker. He was the only driver sub 11 seconds last time round. So Simon's car gaining pace as the run goes on. He'll be looking to see if he can close in on the back of Ollie now. So obviously at the start he was a little bit hesitant to open up and let Finley through. Felt like he had a quick car, just needed to settle into it, settle into the run. Problem is Ollie has now got a fairly big lead, but let's just see what Simon can manage to drive into. Bit of a mistake there from Finley as well. That's freed up Simon. So on the timing screen, Simon has closed in a little bit on Ollie, but Ollie has obviously had to navigate a bunch of traffic. He's popped out the other side of that now. Simon's going to have to deal with them as well when he gets there. But time is coming down. Difference in predicted times currently just over a second between Ollie and Simon. Simon now closing in on the back of Morgan Williams. That worked out quite nicely. It's Lewis Parker now. Lewis gets out of Simon's way quite nicely. So now no cars between them on track. Simon now trying to chase down that 1 second split that they started apart. Max Mackler in between them. Ollie just rolling up towards the back of Mark Stiles. Simon Lauter passed, well, Max was exceptionally generous there to Simon. Jumped on the brakes. Gap is coming down, coming down, coming down. The gap, it wouldn't surprise me to see Simon take the lead in the next couple of laps. Simon passed Mark off the end of the main straight. Really close between them now. Can see about 0.2 of a second between them on the track. I think that might have been it, as there we go, Simon Lauter hits the front. So he has caught Ollie on the split. Remember, this is Simon's fourth meeting with a 1/12 scale car, I believe. So Morgan jumps out of Ollie's way. We're doing the same for Simon when Simon arrives. Nicely done, off the end of the main straight. Max Mackler dives out the way. So we're currently running with Simon Lauter. He is chasing down Ollie Payne. He's actually in front on the clock. A little bit of a bobble there over the curb. So started out 1 second between them. Simon just starting to get a little bit scruffy, a little bit ragged. With 1 minute remaining, Simon Lauter leading this one from Ollie Payne. Really very, very close between these two. Simon now right on Ollie. As they come through, he will know that he is definitely in front. Ollie opens up and lets Simon go. Simon Lauter looks set his first official run in qualifying with a 1/12 scale, and he looks set to TQ around in the Euros. So Simon Lauter is just going to come down across the line and take round number 1 of qualifying. So it's a great run there from Simon Lauter, a 44-lap run, the only one to sneak across. Ollie just misses that 44-lap run. So Simon taking that one with a really good run. That'll cause some head scratching in the pits, I think. Everybody trying to figure out exactly where that pace has come from in Simon's car, but yeah, fantastic run there from Simon. So little bit slow to get into the run at the start, and pace just built and built and built, and had a bit of pressure from Finley at the start, and then just drove up to the back of Ollie. Ollie was pretty generous and opened up and let him through, and just drove away.
Marshals, please.
So Simon Lauter then taking around from Ollie Payne, Jan Rathajski, Stefan Schultz from the previous heat in 4th place. Christian Donath was 5th. Marcus Andreasen from the previous heat. Lewis Parker, Michael Bolt from the previous heat. So a bunch of drivers from the previous heat getting themselves up there with some nice round scores. But Simon will be super happy with that. That's a really good run that he's managed to put together.
It's not something we usually see, is it? From the second heat, effectively coming up and
not that many drivers. No,
yeah.
I mean Stefan. I think this is what we were saying earlier about drivers being quick over 3 laps compared to a run. But there's a bunch of drivers. So. Just getting in a couple of the cars of the LC racing class out on circuit.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
So some I wouldn't call it scuttlebutt, maybe, but some extra info from the pits, I think. So I was able to finally talk to Mr. Moroni.
Okay.
About the tire changes.
Yes.
Which we featured quite heavily, I told him. On
yeah, relatively.
Timing Alexander's 4-tire pit stop. So yeah, that he said that is purely to help Hagberg, basically.
He's testing different tires for Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not any sort of development thing or anything like that. It's just to help, and he feeds back his feeling of the car, etc. And obviously, you know, they'll look at the lap times, and Alex will be watching his car and make a decision from there to see what Alex wants to use for his race. So yeah, 2 different compounds, or you know, whatever combination they're using, and yeah, so it's
well, I mean, if they're production release tires, if they're not testing something new, there's 2 types of hot race tire that are out there. There's the Hagberg edition, and there's the red dot as well. Red dot, not red dog. That is. So yeah, that's no, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I've seen this happen before with say a touring car, or in its heyday in the early 2000s, and 10th buggy, where a gigantic team will sort of have their lower ranked drivers test setups for other drivers, or test tires or test whatever, and so it's like immediate feedback on the almost exact current track conditions to the teammates that are basically going to have more of a shot of being in the final or being on the podium. So that's interesting. Also, I was talking to Vito Garacci, who's the AMSCI representative. He's basically every weekend at a Italian national RC event, and he was telling me about this track. So if you notice, James, if you look around, we can't really see it on camera, even if we panned over. But basically, there's I guess it's not linoleum, but it's wood sort of panel flooring.
Yeah.
Like what you would put in a kitchen or something like that. So that's the track is pretty. I don't think there's any layer between the carpet that we're actually racing on and the flooring. So that is why it's bumpy, basically, and it runs perpendicular to the direction of the straight. So as the drivers are looking at it, the lines of the joined wood paneling, or whatever it's called.
I mean, you can see on
Yeah,
the
you
screen
can kind
now,
of see it.
you can
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
darker lines, and that's
Yeah.
where the cars are bouncing and they're
Yeah.
hitting the carpet.
So if you watch Formula One out there in RCTV land, you'll know that oftentimes there's ripples on the track, especially if a track hasn't been repaved in quite a while. The Formula One cars put down so much downforce and braking power that they actually force the tarmac itself to actually form into ripples. And mountain bike racers or mountain bike riders will be familiar with this.
I mean, you do get this with RC tracks as well, with particularly with touring cars braking into corners.
Yeah.
Especially on carpet tracks, you can get it develop where it stretches the fibers of the carpet, and you end up with ripples.
Yeah, and so the ripples were already there basically before they even laid the carpet down.
Yeah.
So and that's what is making the bumpiness of the track surface. And also, Vito was telling me that during the day it does heat up because it's basically a metal roof over us. All the walls are concrete. There are windows, but they're clear story windows, so they're the very top of the concrete walls, and then there's a domed surface to the roof. But where on one side of the hall there are no windows, and there's literally air gaps between the roof and the concrete walls or brick walls, whatever they are. I think it's concrete. And so all the heat escapes during the night. It cools down. Thus, there's a massive temperature fluctuation, basically, in the flooring. And that's what makes all these ripples just in the normal flooring. And then you lay the carpet on top of it, and the ripples, they're not going to disappear. They're going to appear, basically. They're not going anywhere. They'll just make themselves known during the racing.
Just wondering if we can grab Simon over for a little bit of a chat as well.
We can see if this will work on camera. We haven't tried this yet. Yeah, so stick that on. Okay, so we're doing it live. So if you go ahead and stand in position there. Yeah, we'll take those off. I'll just talk to you. So, right. So we've got James. We're just going to switch.
Okay, so with Simon Lauter. Simon, you, your first 1/12 like official track session, and you TQ'd.
Yeah, for now. But there's 5 more qualifiers to go, so we will see. I'm just trying to do my best. Obviously, try to do a better first minute, but this is the problem I had all day. But we are working on it. It was better now, and we do I think the same direction we did now, and then it should be good. The car should be on point for sure.
I noticed because Finley, the other orange car, was quite close behind you at the start. Did you know you kind of had to just try and stay there for the first minute? I know he got a bit close to you a couple of times. Did you think just if you can just stay there without having to open up, then you can drive away and try and catch Ollie?
Yeah, obviously Finley was super fast at the beginning. I think he was quite close sometime, but all the time he was so close that I would have let him by in 1 or 2 corners. He did slight mistakes or curbs or whatever. So I think it was at the edge and it was okay to not let him by. And yeah, I know that my car is better at the end, obviously. And I try to focus on this, not fuck up first minute, and then we will see what happens.
Okay, so I mean, did you? I didn't. You know, you caught Ollie, and then I mean, he was very generous and opened up and let you go. You were the only driver to make it on the extra lap as well. So nice to have that in your pocket.
Yeah, I think great sportsmanship to Ollie. He did very well with this. He let me by, which is not what everyone would do, I think. So thanks for that. Yeah, and I will just try to focus on my driving, not fuck up, because I had some laps that are not super good. But I'm still happy with the 44 lap. You never know whether the extra lap will help you or not. And then we will see what happens tomorrow.
No, certainly a really good start for qualifying. So well done, and yeah, look, hope it continues tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully the sound was okay on that. We had some unexpected track announcing happening behind us, but
no, good to have a quick catch up with Simon.
Yeah.
Apologies for some Anglo-Saxon language going out there on the stream, but always good to catch up with Simon. This the second of the 2 heats of the LC Racing support class. And then we're set to go for modified. So yeah, really impressive from Simon that to see him, like he said, get out in front. Like he said, Finley was super fast at the start, but couldn't quite get there. Every time he looked like getting there, he made a bit of a mistake and let Simon drive away. So that's nice position to be in. I know he said there's another 5 rounds of qualifying, but he'll be the happiest tonight, I would have thought.
yeah, it's I mean, there's certainly some unexpectedly long faces in some areas of the pits.
I think
without going into too much detail, but you know, it's he's first time.
This is the 3rd time he's driven a 1/12 scale.
Yeah. I mean, if only all of us had such, I hesitate to say beginner's luck. Obviously, he's fast. He's a fast guy. But yeah, wow.
He is. I think part of the thing, he's kept it simple.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't tried to, all of the other guys sitting around him are trying to engineer the car forward, make their cars better, make their cars faster. He's just kind of stuck with a car built out the box.
Yeah.
He's only tried one type of tyre. He's just focusing on driving it. So consequently, there's some calipers coming out amongst amongst his teammates, trying to figure out exactly what's different about Simon's car. So Simon running sort of the new prototype car with a fair chunk of new prototype parts on it. But looking pretty good. That's a decent debut for that. Started out quite nicely. So 1.5 minutes of this remaining. Then we get into modified. 30 seconds left of this LC Racing heat. So these guys just finishing up. All set then for modified heat number 1, qualifying number 1. Welcome to you if you are just joining us here on RCTV. We're bringing you live coverage of this EFRA 1/12 European Championships from Messina. It's the northeast coast of Sicily. Bringing you this coverage in conjunction with our event sponsors, ToniSport, Schumacher, Lens Bodies, Zen Racing, RCXX Shop, Montec and Hobbywing. First heat of modified set to be released out online. Drivers, we're going to have some recognisable names out there. Nicola Moroni, there's Mr. Hot Race and Mr. Lens Bodies as well. Lucas Larson. Stu Cartwright's supposed to be in this heat, but I believe he's going to be sitting out modified. He's decided that trying to run 2 classes is going to be a little bit of a struggle this weekend. So Alessandro Bianchi, Marco Mecuni, Mario Neri, Marcello Galli and Marco Mazzini will be the drivers. Couple of plain white body shells, just to make life nice and easy for us. So, yep, we just to confirm, we are missing Stu Cartwright. He's, I think he's elected. He was trying to run 2 classes, and
wisely decided to drop out.
Yeah, I think he decided that trying to run modified as well was he'd end up struggling in both rather than you're sort of slightly better focusing on one class. Nicola Moroni is going to lead this one off.
Yeah, I've got my eagle eyes set to look for Hagberg with another set of tires.
I would think now that qualifying proper started, I would think it less likely that he's going to change.
Yeah, but you know, because he's sacrificed quite a long time. Well, no, it's only just 3 consecutive. But I don't know what his ambitions are to race. For Nicola's ambitions, whether it's now to just like go as fast as he can and do what he can, have a bit of fun on the track, or who knows? Maybe he's still going to try and.
I'd be quite surprised.
Research.
I'd be quite surprised to see him swap. But let's run with the car number 1, the all white, or the first of the all white coloured cars.
7, 6,
It's Mr. Moroni,
It is.
or Mr. Brown in English.
Yes. Is Moroni not maroon? Or no? Okay. Mr. Brown. It sounds much less exotic. Mr. Brown does not. It kind of reminds me of a Monegasque Formula driver that was Clivio Piccioni, who the literal translation of his name was Clive Pigeon. which doesn't sound.
No.
It sounds very different.
Yeah, definitely.
But, Nicola in third position after the opening lap. Already starting to catch and pass traffic, and that's not going to help him. Doing a bit of a spin on the main straight. Gets it back together. Oh, that car does not look comfy. That's looking very, very wayward on the throttle. It's looking like it's lifting wheels, maybe, and he'll be very, very relieved when this 8 minutes is up, I think. Looking at Nicola's car. It might calm down. It might settle down a little bit. They're still running in third place in the heat. But I'm pretty certain Alex will not want to be trying those tyres. So actually Nicola's car now starting to settle down a little bit. Still struggling a little bit with the bumps off the end of the straight. Let's see if we can find Lucas Larson. I think he's the all blue coloured car. Sort of one car in front. There we go, number 2 car. So this is the lead car. He started out 1 second behind the white car that's following him. So looking at that, he's probably 2 seconds in front. 1 second on the split and 1 second on track. Nicola's just made a mistake behind him, which is going to drop him further down the field. Lucas Larson trying to edge away. So looks like we've got a comment from
Mr.
Oleg, yeah,
Automatics.
from Mr. Automatics, Oleg himself, saying applauding, saying well done, Simon. So that was the story of stock. If no one's seen that, Simon Lauter taking TQ for round 1 with his the 4th race meeting he's ever turned up to with the 1/12 scale.
Not too shabby.
No. Which is, yeah, that'll have prompted some little bit of head scratching. So drivers running in this one: Lucas Larson, Nicola Morone, Alessandro Bianchi, Marco Meguni, Marco Mazzini, Marcello Gallo, and Mario Neri. Stu Cartwright on the timing screen, but he has elected to drop out, we believe, of the modified class, and we'll just be running stock for the remainder of the weekend. Pretty decent run coming together for Lucas Larson. We'll be aiming to get a B final out of this weekend. These modified cars a little bit more loose off the end of the main straight there, burning up the rear tyres quite a bit more. Going to see some fairly quick sort of big name drivers in the next heat that you'd expect to see up there in probably in the top heat, but they're struggling, just struggling to keep tyres alive. Lucas comfortable out in front. Running in second. Let's see if we can find him, the 5 car, Marco Meguni. So he is the, I believe, yellow and orange coloured car. We've got him picked up on stream. This is our second place man. Very, very close between him and Nicola Morone. Nicola lapping a little bit slower. In fact, lapping a bit faster is Nicola, 10.8 now, compared to an 11.1. Lucas Larsson, the one lapping consistently. Car looking good. A little bit of a bobble there over some of those curbs. Little bit of a sort of double turn off the end of the main straight. Looking like just trying to stick the rear of the car. A little bit hesitant to turn in. Let's just watch it again off the end of the main straight. You can see that little waggle just as he's struggling to get the power down. 2.5 minutes left. Let's move back, see if we can pick up Nicola. He is the all-white coloured car. He's being followed by the blue-coloured car. It's Nicola Morone, followed by Lucas Larsson. So running with Nicola at the moment. Mistake from Lucas Larsson. That might actually promote Nicola somewhere near the front. No, he's still 9 seconds back. So pretty comfortable. He's just managed to unlap himself. Just managing to fire his way through all of the traffic. Looking super good, super comfortable. No tyre testing going on in this run.
No. Happy to be corrected.
I kind of suspected that they'd stop doing it during qualifying. That he might. I mean, if he gets a couple of good scores in his pocket, there's
Yeah. How did he finish in that one? Did he second?
Second in that one. Yeah. So
yeah, he can certainly move up. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps that's the plan, and then maybe towards the end of the day tomorrow, if Alex needs extra information about the track as it is, sort of at the pointy end of qualifying, then we might see that. Alex looking pretty good actually in certainly over an 8-minute run.
I was talking to Jürgen
Yes.
Lautenbach, who runs LRP and Nosrum, which is Alex's battery sponsor. I was asking him what he thought Alex's chances were of defending his title. He said it's going to be tight. He says it's going to be tough for Alex. But obviously we'll see. But
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't normally, no disrespect to Jan Ratajski, but you wouldn't normally put him quite in that bracket. But he's right up there, it seems. And
also running Nosrum.
Yes, yeah. That's.
Well, I mean, either way, for Jürgen, it's a win-win. You know, well, obviously, if one of them win.
Yes.
But still, I thought it's a bit of a nice little chat with Jürgen actually about that sort of stuff. It's
Jürgen's. I mean, he's obviously
former 1/10 European or world champion.
European, yes.
Yeah. And obviously 12 skill racer from way back in the day.
He's a lot more involved now in the sort of trackside stuff. LRP got very, very big, and then
very big. Yes.
There were a few issues, like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Shrunk a bit.
Yeah.
And back to growing. But yeah, it's no, he's been around a while. He knows his stuff.
He does, absolutely. So what have we got here? We have got the penultimate heat of track action for the day. So Lewis Parker will lead off.
So this one and one more.
Yep. Lewis Parker, the yellow front, pink rear car. Let's run with him.
4, 5, 6,
So Lewis having quick in stock. Few issues in modified. The car, that car does look like it's hopping about an awful lot down the main straight, actually. It's the first time I've kind of watched his modified car, but that is making some interesting shapes as it's running down the main straight.
We're going to start a bingo thing for you, like Martin Brundle.
Yeah, that's
A wheel shaped like a 50-pence piece. He
yeah.
looks like he's wrestling an octopus.
I think he'd rather
Interesting
wrestle an
shapes.
octopus at the moment. Yeah, that car looks like it's a bit of a challenge to drive. Let's say. And the worrying thing is, this is like 30 seconds in. You know, he'll at 2 minutes they'll get the call from they'll get the call to say, you know, 6 minutes left to run, and it's that's a sinking feeling when you've got something that's a bit of a bucking bronco underneath you. Yes, that's bucking bronco. I'm sure Lewis might describe it as something slightly different. Already you can see starting to lose the rear of the car. Let's see if we can find the 4 car of Christian Donath. He is one of the green coloured cars, I believe.
This one here, just in
yes,
front of us,
he is.
coming around the
So,
carousel. There we go. Ben's already on him.
He's already managed to pick him up. So Christian, another one of the drivers running 2 classes. He's running in 3rd position in this heat at the moment.
I think some of these guys maybe will assess where they're at tonight, overnight, and just see if they're going to continue, or do you think a lot of them are going to drop out of one or the other?
I think that there will be entirely less effort put into their second cars. It's when you're down to sort of, you know, you've got 8 heats and you're trying to race in 2 of them, and then you've got a marshal for 2 of them. Potentially with a mechanic, it's kind of doable, but everything has to work very, very well for you to be able to run 2 cars effectively. As soon as something starts going slightly wrong, you get a little bit of a challenge.
Especially when you're on a new surface, and
yes,
you know, it's a new carpet, different layout, and all that stuff, and
yeah, most definitely. It turns into a bit of a challenge. Let's see if we can find the 2 car of Martin Huddy. He is the all-white coloured car. He's just gone around the carousel and is heading out towards the main straight now. Martin will have pulled in quite a few laps at the Huddy Arena before coming here. Looking quite heavily, I would imagine, at sort of future development in time to do a new car for later in the year. But none of these cars looking super planted. Certainly with like just over 4 minutes of the run remaining. Marcus Andreasen got himself up into 2nd position with the 6 car. See if we can spot him. It's the orange coloured car. There we go. Managed to lock him in on screen. So I think we're unlikely to see a repeat of stock with some of the quick guys from the heat before. I think this is going to be a little bit more spread out. Probably the top 5 look a little bit of a step ahead, I'd say, in modified.
So if we're looking at 5 certainly fast guys,
yep.
Who would be your predictions for? Well, let's keep it very simple. Who's your prediction for TQ?
I think probably Ollie Payne, but then I would have said that for. I think I probably would have said that for stock as well. It still could be, of course, but I didn't expect to see.
I mean, well, first round TQ.
First round TQ.
Yeah.
I would think probably Ollie has got a little bit more than Jan's car. It's super fast, but it looks like hard work over 8 minutes. If Jan can hang on to it, he's in with a shout. But I would think him, Alex Hagberg's going to be somewhere in the mix. He always Alex is just always there. And looking to defend his title from last year in Eastbourne.
Please come back to class.
So those of you watching, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, whether it's RCTV or EFRA, let us know who you think is going to TQ the first round. There's well over 150 of you watching at the moment, so thank you very much for sticking with us to the end of the first day of the EFRA 1/12 European Championships here from Sicily. I want to thank ToniSport as our title sponsor, and also Schumacher Racing, Lens Bodies, Zen Racing, RCXX Shop, Montec, and Hobbywing for bringing you this coverage for free. If you'd like to support RCTV, you can join the RCTV Heroes by clicking join on the RCTV channel, or check out rcracingtv.com and get some merch. Very comfortable hats, sweaters, t-shirts, beanies, all sorts of things. We're working on a stuffed animal, probably. I don't know, maybe. Now that I've said it, maybe we are. Who knows? But yeah, so we're gearing up for the final round of Mod Q1 Heat 3, which is the fastest guys in Mod.
Yep.
Got several world champions. Many, I mean, what is it? Probably well over a dozen European champions in the championships spread across the various drivers.
Oh, without a doubt, yes. I mean,
probably
Mark's,
15 or 18, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's won a bunch. Alex Hagberg's won a chunk of them. Ollie Payne's won one, albeit in stock class, not modified. Michael
Orlowski, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Many. Maybe close to 20 total.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
Jan's won Formula Euros, so yes, there's a lot of winning.
Much winning, many race.
Yes, about to go out on track. Martin Huddy taking that one. He'll be happy with that. Top 10 in round. That's pretty decent.
Could get into the main.
He could, yes. If he can sneak it into the back of the main there, he'll be happy with that. So that's a decent start. Last track action of the day then. Modified cars, 6.5 ton motors getting dropped out on the circuit. Jan Rathajski, Ollie Payne, Alex Hagberg, Michal Orlowski, Mark Reinhard, Alessio Mazzio, Rene Doctor, Marcus Mobers, and Rosario Giamo. Cars released out onto the circuit. Looks like Simon Lauter being given the job of putting down Mark Reinhardt's car. See if that brings him some luck. if that rubs off on him. Be interesting at the start of this one. See how see if Jan can edge away from Ollie Payne.
We do have one prediction in the chat from Pekko Ivanen. He's saying Mikal, go Mikal.
I mean, he's obviously got the talent.
Yeah.
Car looks...
teammate, should we say, in case anyone's not aware.
Yes. So
how are you, Pekko? Hope
start
you're
out
well.
with Jan's car. Jan running race paint. Be looking to just edge into this. And Jan, I think he's probably realised that, that this is going to be a tyre life thing. Ollie just eating up the split on him. And Ollie's car just in the back of shot. Ollie most certainly going to be in front on the clock. Jan still running in second though. Jan doing what he needs to. Remember, this is kind of a little bit of a repeat of what we saw earlier with Ollie legged it away at the start, and then that allowed Simon to close in and catch him. So this might be a case of slowly catchy monkey. Mistake there from Jan. He was actually very, very generous there. He got the car sideways and then sort of turned himself out, inside out, basically, to allow Ollie the space and not disturb him.
Helpful racing etiquette.
Absolutely. Who else have we got out there at the moment? If we move back like 2 cars, we've got Alex Hagberg, the white and green coloured car. Let's just see if we can run with him for a little bit. Alex running in second position currently.
Oh,
mistake from Ollie Payne coming onto the main straight.
Is that going to put paid to his prediction from James Stewart here?
Quite possibly. Alex Hagberg has hit the front then from Mikhail Orlowski. So this is a bit of a repeat of what was going on.
Some familiar names there.
There is, although Alex has now got Jan right behind him. And we've got Giamo Rosario thinking, why the hell did I seed myself into this heat? Probably, as everybody rattles past him in a train. He's driving perfectly well, and he deserves to be there, but he's got a bunch of quick guys, very quick guys with him. It's a bit of an interesting dynamic playing out now, because you've got obviously 2 teammates with Jan Rothajski and Alex Hagberg. Alex in front on the track. Jan looking maybe like he could be a little bit quicker if he could find his way past, but equally you don't want to be the one to shovel your teammate off. A little bit of traffic in between them. Little barrier tap from Alex Hagberg there as they went down the main straight. So Jan Rothajski in second. Jan also maybe thinking, can he pull out a second over Ollie Payne?
Hagberg's still running at the top, though.
Hagberg is still running at the top.
Rothajski bumps up into second now.
Though he's just made a small mistake. So these first 3 cars, Alex is definitely in front because he started out as the third of those 3 cars. And he's leading them both.
Yeah, that mistake has dropped Rothajski down 2 spots.
And Ollie Payne off the end of the main straight backwards and catches the... that was unfortunate for the 8 cars. I mean, Mobers, he didn't know where to go, really. Whatever way he went, if he went left, if he went right, it was just... there was a car parked there in front of him. So, and Rothajski now backwards off the end of the main straight. So, Hagberg looking more and more solid.
Just about the halfway point now.
We are, and Orlowski now into P2. Quite surprised Mark Reinhardt hasn't popped up there with everybody else's instance. Mark a little bit subdued. Still running with Alex Hagberg out in the front.
Rethicki back up into the second spot, but is Payne going to take it back off him? Orlowski does.
Yeah, Jan's car starting to look pretty nasty out there on circuit. If we can move back and find Jan's car briefly, the white and black coloured car. So, yeah, if you start to look at this, this is what he was quick over 3 laps, but we're now sort of beyond the 5-minute mark, and that does not look like a nice car to drive now. Just watch it sort of fishtail everywhere as he tries to get on the throttle. Car slews sideways. It's really not comfortable. Move back 2 cars to the all-white car of Michał Orlowski, running in 2nd place currently. Just keeping an eye on where Alex Hagberg is. He's a couple of seconds down the road, like 2.3 seconds down the road, predicting a time around 3 seconds faster than Michał Orlowski. So just be looking to keep it moving. Traffic not falling particularly nicely for Michał either. He's managed to find his way past Jan Rethicki and Ollie Payne. But Alex Hagberg's car starting to look a little bit loose.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes left to go. Let's pick up Alex again, the white and green coloured car. He's making some shapes off the end of the main straight. That's just coming down out onto the main straight now. So this is our leader, and he looks like he's a little bit hesitant to commit to turning in. And we could actually see Michael Orlowski hunt him down. There's no traffic in between them now. So just seeing Alex onto the main straight. There's about the length of the main straight between them. Gap is coming down. It's about 9/10 of a second now as we enter the final minute. So we're going to see if Michael can drive himself forwards into the back of Alex. Alex will see him coming.
Less than a minute now.
Oh, no, much less than a minute. Mark Reinhardt's got out of the way of Alex Hagberg. Cranks it in. Michael's car looking a little bit safer, a little bit more comfortable. They started out 1 second apart. Gap now just around 0.6 of a second between them. 30 seconds left. It's going to end up pretty close on this one. Orlowski now, let's have a look as he crosses the line. Where is he relative to Hagberg? Orlowski's actually hit the front, so Orlowski now in front of Hagberg on the split with 30 seconds, 10 seconds left. So into the final 10 seconds, and Hagberg sideways off the end of the straight and straight out of the way. Let's have a look. Michael Orlowski has, I believe, taken that one right at the death. He gets that one by about 0.6 of a second on the last lap. So I think we need to try and grab hold of Michał, if we can, and have a bit of a chat with him. So we'll just try and grab hold of Michał right at the, see if Frank can get hold of him for us, just so that we can have a bit of a chat. So it looks like we've got Michał Orlowski heading over towards us. So Mikhail coming over just for a bit of a chat. We'll just dive in front of the camera with him. Okay, Mal, just got that at the end there. Did you, I mean, you caught Alex pretty much the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, to be honest, because all practice we're working hard to catch Alex towards the end of the run. And we've been making loads of changes each run, and started driving around at the beginning and it was okay, but I could see that I don't have the pace to keep up with Alex, and then I thought he'll be gone, so I was fighting with Ollie and Jan for a second, and I don't know, like 3 laps to go, I passed them and then drove away immediately, and then I could see I'm catching Alex. So I have no idea why and how, but it's good to have the good points in the first one, but there is work to do for tomorrow, because it's it's tough for everyone. The track conditions are very difficult, so everyone needs to work hard and to get the best out of it, but I think we've done a very good job today.
Yeah, keeping rear tyres alive looks like a bit of a challenge at the end, and it's not just side bite, it's forward drive off the corner as well. It looks like you're struggling with.
I mean, the whole cut just doesn't feel right, but I'm sure everyone else is struggling with that. I'm even struggling to go straight on the straight. To be honest, that's the most difficult part of the track for me, just to drive straight on and then finish off the straight well with that hard braking point. So I think we've done a good job today, but there's a lot more work to do.
Okay, well done. Obviously, that's it's one round in the bag anyway, so it's a good start, and try and win back the title you had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I hope so. It'll be exciting and definitely difficult finals.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
May as well finish it off there.
Okay, so that is our track action for today wrapped up. So we've seen Simon Lauter catching and passing Ollie Payne at at the end of the modified class, stock class, and we've seen in the modified class just seen Michal Orlowski catch and pass Alex Hagberg. So looking pretty decent. Sets us up quite nicely for tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with the rest of qualifying, so another 5 rounds of qualifying to squeeze in tomorrow, and should be a good day's worth of track action before we get to finals on Sunday. So again, thank you to our event sponsors: ToniSport, Schumacher, Lens Bodies, Zen Racing, RCXX Shop, Montec and Hobbywing. We've been RC Racing TV, and we will look to see you tomorrow.